Hello everybody! How are you all? I hope everybody is doing really well. My name is Helen. Now some of you may know me. Hi everybody from the Entertainment Factory, but some of you may not. But everybody is really welcome here today. So today we are going to do yoga. Some people may have done yoga already and some people will not have done any yoga, but everybody is welcome here to try with me today. So for the first few weeks, we will keep it nice and slow and we'll learn all our basic poses. So don't worry, everybody can have a go. So guys, I wanted to tell you a few reasons why I like to do yoga. So one reason is when we move and stretch the body, it's really good for us. It builds our muscles, it helps with flexibility, and it's just a really good way of keeping active. Another thing that yoga is really good for, number 2, is calming us down, because we use the breath a lot in yoga, and this can help just calm us down. Sometimes we have lots of thoughts in our head, or maybe lots of worries, or just always thinking about something else. I know I do that. So this is when we can calm down and take a little bit of time just to breathe. Number 3, yoga is also really good for the heart. And we can begin to think about how we can be kind to ourselves when we practice yoga. So just before we start our yoga class, I would like us to think about a few things. So 1, think about the space in your room. Do you have room? You might want to move any furniture or chairs or anything that might get in the way or possibly cause an injury. So think about safety. There are some things we use in our yoga class, but don't worry if you don't have any of these things. They're not important. Okay, today I have a mat. You might have a mat too. This is a yoga mat or an exercise mat. It can be used for lots of different things. If you have one, great. If you don't worry. You can simply do the yoga on the floor. It could be a hard floor. It could be a carpeted floor. One thing to remember is have no socks on, bare feet. If we're on the floor, bare feet will grip a little bit more. Okay, so think about safety. Always look after yourself. Another thing that might be useful is a blanket or a cushion. And these might be useful, for example, if you are on the hard floor, you might put your knees on the blanket. You don't want to put your hands on the blanket or your feet on the blanket because this could slip. Okay, so this is mainly just if you're on the hard floor or carpet for the knee support. Okay, same for the pillow. It might act as a support under the body. Okay, but we never want to stand on the pillow or the blanket, especially if you're on the hard floor, because we could slip. So always think of our safety. You might like to have a glass of water. That's up to you. And another thing that may be useful, it's not in shot, is a chair. Let me just... Some people may find a chair useful at different points in the class. I'm going to keep the chair over there so it doesn't get in the way of you guys seeing me. Okay. Another thing to remember, guys, is think of what you're wearing. Are your clothes comfortable? Make sure you can stretch and move in all different ways. One thing to remember when we're doing any exercise class is to always look after yourself. You guys know your own body the best, so if anything feels sore or, oh, that doesn't feel right, Helen, then just stop the move, and just take a little breather. Don't do anything that feels sore or uncomfortable. So you may have noticed I have a pink ribbon and an orange ribbon. So these are to help us follow along, but you can follow along with me just like you're looking at a mirror. So if I move my pink hand, you can follow along with your left hand. Just follow me like it's a mirror. But it doesn't matter too much in yoga if you do it on a different hand than me, because we always do things on both sides, so we'll swap over. So don't worry, but this is just in case it helps. Follow along. So we will always begin our yoga with some breathing. This helps to calm the mind and body down and let us focus for the rest of the class. So get yourself comfortable. I'm sitting cross-legged. You might sit in the chair. It's up to you. Just get somewhere that's nice and comfortable. And we always think about our yoga back. This is a nice, tall back. Imagine there's a golden thread right out of the top of your head that pulls you all the way to the sky. So it stretches our back up nice and long. Good. Now, let's place one hand on our chest and one hand on our belly. And if you like, you could close your eyes. If you don't want to, that's fine. And just begin to breathe in through the nose, a big breath in. And then out through the nose, or through the mouth. And then in and out. And when you breathe in, can you feel your belly get bigger and your chest begin to move a little? Let's take 2 more breaths. So breathe in and out. 1 more. Feel the belly and the chest move. And breathe out. Good. Now relax the hands. Give ourselves a little shake. So let's start with some moving. We're going to move the head first. So let the chin drop down. And then let the chin reach towards the ceiling. Let's do that again. Look down. And look up. Come back, look forward. Let's go side to side. Look over the right shoulder, so my orange hand, and then go the other way. And it doesn't really matter which way you go, as long as we keep moving. And then one more time, come back to forward. Let's go to our shoulders. We're going to lift the shoulders up and back. Let's see if we can do this with the breath. So when we lift them up, breathe in and down, breathe out. Up, breathe in and out. Good. Let's bring our hands, and it's like we scoop them up all the way to the ceiling. Breathe in and then join the palms at the top and breathe out. Let's do that again. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Now we're going to take our hands either side, fingertips on the floor, and we imagine that we're drawing a big circle all around us. So let's take our fingertips and draw our circle forward. Our hands meet forward and we can curve our body over. Curve the spine, and then take your hands, trace the edge of your big circle all the way behind you, and then you can just let your fingertips be behind on the floor, and imagine that golden thread now comes from the chest up to the ceiling, and we let our chest open up to the ceiling. Let's do that again. So forward with the hands, and then open back. And and just hold it back while our chest is nice and open. Let's take a nice deep breath here. And out. Good. Come back to sitting nice and tall. Let's take the right hand, the orange hand, and reach it up, 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 and over the head, and see if we can lean the body to the other side. So now I'm leaning over to my pink hand. And then back again. Let's go the other way. Up. And back. One more time. Up. Breathe in as we move up. And breathe out as we bring the hand down. And again, breathe in with the other hand and out. Okay, now that we've done some moves to get a little bit of heat into the body, let's move on to some more yoga postures. In yoga, they're called asanas. Asanas. But sometimes we call them postures or poses. So our first pose is called table. We come onto our knees and our hands. So we want to think that our hands are right under our shoulders. We don't want them to be out here or back here. We want them to be under the shoulder and our knees under our hips. This is going to keep us really safe in the pose and make sure we don't cause any injuries to the body. Okay, the reason this pose is called table is because we want to think about a nice flat back and imagine it's a table. Maybe somebody could eat their dinner off my back. Okay, so let's just breathe for a couple of breaths in this pose. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Our next pose is called cat. I'll show you because it looks like a cat when a cat stretches. So we curl the back up and it's like you bring the belly button and pull it right in towards your back, right in towards the spine. And then we're going to go the opposite way and push the back through, and then this opens our chest forward. Okay. And then arch it all the way through. This is a really good move for our spine, and keeping our spine really flexible and healthy is really important for us. And again, curl up and down. Let's see if we can do that with the breath. Okay. So as we curve up, you're going to breathe out. And as we curve the other way, you're going to breathe in. And then opposite. And you can do this in your own time. If you need to go a little bit faster than me or a little bit slower, that's okay. Again, there's no right, there's no wrong. Okay, well done. Let's take a break off our hands. Well done, everybody. That was our table pose on our cat and counter cat. Because we've been on our wrists, let's just take a little bit of a stretch out for our wrists. So we're going to circle the hands. Sorry, I've made fists first, and now I'm circling the wrists. And the other way. Next move, I'm going to open the hands really wide, in, really wide, out, in. Next one, it's like, I call this piano fingers. We imagine we're playing the piano. Really wriggle, wriggle, wriggle the fingers. And we can take them up and down the piano. Okay, good work. The next asana or posture that we're going to look at is called Cobra. So we imagine a cobra snake, it curves. Okay, so we're going to think about curving with our back. I'll show you. So we're going to lie down on the mat, on our belly. Okay, and for this week, let's take our forearms onto the mat. So our elbows are just under our shoulders. We still have our hands on the mat and our legs are really pressed into the mat. The tops of our feet are connected onto the floor, and we're just going to push into the hands, nice and gentle, and we're going to open the chest forward. And let's take a breath here. Maybe somebody might like to do a cobra noise. This is why it looks like a cobra. It's like a cobra coiled up. It's like a cobra curved up. And then just relax the back down. We can take a little breather here. Put the head on the forearms. And take a big breath into the belly. And you could feel the belly push into the ground. And then relax. Good. Let's move on to another pose. This pose is called Child's Pose, and it's a really lovely pose for if you ever feel like, oh, everything just feels too much, or you just need a little break from everything that's going on, because it's all curled up. So I'm sitting like this. Sometimes it's hard to sit like this, so you might even want to come up to the toes. And this is where a blanket can come in useful, or a pillow. You could put the pillow here, and this just raises the body up a bit. You could put as many pillows as you want there if it feels uncomfortable to sit back on the legs. Okay, so just have a little play. You can pause the video. You can go and get the pillows if you don't have any and you want to try some. So with this pose, we reach forward. Oh, we're aiming to put the forehead on the mat, but again, if that feels like, oh, today that isn't what my body wants to do, you can even put a pillow or a rolled up blanket under the forehead, and that brings the floor a little bit closer. Okay, and then we just let our arms fall back towards, our fingers are pointing towards our feet, and just let the shoulders roll towards the mat, nice and heavy. And take a breath. Good. Everybody's doing really well. Okay. Well done, everybody. We're going to begin to come up to more standing poses. But how do we get there? So this is where your chair might come in useful. Okay. Okay. I'll show you first, and then we'll do it together. So we come back to our table. Okay. So from here, if we're using our chair, we could just put one hand on the chair, then the feet, and then just come up to here, bend the knees, and roll up through the back. If you feel like you don't want to use the chair, we can come back to our table, tuck the feet under, and then we're going to let the body hang over, bend the knees, and roll up through the back. Okay, good. So we've rolled up through the back, and now we're ready to do some of our standing postures. So our first standing posture is called mountain. And it is simply that we're going to stand really strong and sturdy like a mountain. And it's actually more difficult to do this than you think. We work a lot more muscles to hold ourselves up really strong. So let's try it. Think about that your feet are really pressed into the ground, and then you work your way up through the body, thinking that it's really tall and straight. Imagine we have that golden thread again that takes us all the way to the ceiling. It pulls us nice and strong, but at the same time, we're really grounded into the floor. And think about how long and strong our back is. Good. Let's add one more move to mountain. We're going to take our hands, turn them so the palm of the hand faces towards me. It faces out. And let's think about how our shoulders are rolled back a little bit. And let's take a breath there. Imagine we're standing on top of a mountain. Take a nice big breath of fresh air. Good. And relax. So let's breathe the arms up and breathe them down. Connect the hands. Breathe up again, up towards the ceiling with the arms. And breathe out. Good. When we were sitting, we had one hand come overhead. Let's do that. Reach it over. Stay strong in the feet to the floor. Feel that stretch up the side of the body. And relax back down. Let's go the other way. So the hand goes up and over the head. And relax it back down. Okay. The next asana we're going to learn is our warrior. And again, just like mountain, we've got to have a strong pose. We're going to find our inner warriors. So take your legs out a little bit wider. Okay. Take one foot and you're going to rotate the foot. So you're going to turn the foot so the toes point to the side. Okay, so I'm looking forward, but my toe is pointed to the side. Okay, take the other foot and turn it a little bit in, just a little bit, not as much turned as the other foot, but just a little bit of the toes turned in. Okay, that's just going to keep us nice and safe. Then we're going to reach our hands up. Okay, nice strong arms. We are warriors. And the foot that has the toe pointed all the way to the side, you're going to bend that knee. Okay, so now we've got a nice strong pose. This is really going to work the strength in our legs, and holding our arms out is going to really work the strength in our arms. So let's be warriors for 2 breaths. And let's maybe add a little warrior breath. So let's do a ha. And again, and a ha. And then we always come out of the pose the same way we went in. So bring the arms round, turn the feet, and let's give ourselves a little shake out. And now we want to do it facing the other direction. So start with, again, the legs are wide. Take the other foot. So we're going to go to the other direction. We're going to turn that toe so it faces all the way to the side. So our bodies face forward. This toe faces to whatever, maybe it's a wall that it points towards. Okay, so the other foot, this one now, is going to turn in a little bit, so the toes begin to look a little bit towards this side too, but just a little bit. Okay, let's take our arms up nice and strong, find that warrior strength. Then this foot that's pointed towards, for me it's the door, you're going to bend the knee. And let's be strong warriors. Let's add our warrior breath. So make a sound. And again. Good. It's always good to have some fun when you try these postures. And then come back in and give the legs a little shake. Okay. The next pose we're going to try is called our chair pose. And you'll see why it's called chair pose in a minute. Imagine there is an invisible chair behind us, and if you feel like you need a little bit of extra balance, you can actually put a chair behind you in case you feel like you need to sit. Okay, so imagine there's a chair, and imagine that we're going to sit on it, and then we see if we can raise the arms. Okay, good. And come back out. This is another good one for building strength in the legs. So let's try that again. So imagine we sit on the chair and then we bring the arms up. And if you want, you could bring the arms higher, but see how you feel. And again, whew, that works the legs. So in our yoga practice, there are also some postures that are all about balance and finding our balance. And sometimes they take a little bit of practice, but it's just about starting with one version of the move. And then when that feels good, when that feels comfortable, try the next version and the next version and the next version. And we will do that over the weeks. So this balancing pose is called tree. So I want you to think about a tree and imagine that you've got the tree roots that go deep into the ground, so they keep the tree really sturdy in its place, and then you have all the branches. Okay, so with this one today, we're just going to do a version that has, find one leg and keep it really strong. That's our anchor. The other leg, you're going to let the knee turn out and just come to the ball of the foot. Okay? And this is our first version of tree. Now, think of our hands as our branches. And you can put your branches wherever you want. If it helps to balance your tree with the branches down low, put them there. Maybe try the branches out to the side and see how that balance feels if it's there. Try them up to the ceiling and see if that feels any different for how we balance. Try it all out. And if this feels, oh, my tree just doesn't want to balance today, a good place to try your tree is against a wall. So we can come right against the wall and anchor down through one foot, have one leg that's really strong, it's nice and straight. Think about that string pulling us up to the sky. We turn the other foot out and then we can decide where our branches go. So again, you can use the wall, or if today you're feeling like your balance is, whoa, that's good today, you can come a little bit further away and do our tree like this. So let's do the other side. So switch the feet. So now we're really strong on the opposite leg. And we're going to balance on that, the ball of the foot, turn the knee out. So that's our tree trunks. And then our tree roots. Now we're going to find where we put our branches. Good. And again, you can do it against the wall. Good. Good, guys. So well done on our tree pose. So well done, everybody, for trying some of our standing postures. But we're going to go back to the mat. So let's look at how we get there. Same way we got up, you could use a chair. Or if you don't need a chair to help go down, that's okay too. I'll show you with the chair. So just exactly the same way we got up, we could begin to go all the way down and then find ourselves back on the mat. If you're not using the chair, you can bend into the knees really soft, roll the body over, and then begin to put your hands on the mat, then your knees, and then find yourself somewhere comfortable to sit on the mat. So that's our two options. Well done, guys, with all those standing poses. So now that we're back on the mat, we're going to move through a few more poses that are on the mat. Okay, so let's bring ourselves onto our backs. So for this, you could just ease your way down, okay, until you find a nice comfortable place. Let me move forward a little bit. So our knees are up towards the ceiling and our soles of our feet are firmly placed on the floor or the mat. Now we have our hands and our forearms stretched long on the floor beside the body, so our fingertips are pointing towards our feet. Now from here, imagine you're lifting up your hips, so just lift the hips a little bit and let them roll back down. This time, let the hips and the lower spine lift a little bit higher, so we go a little bit higher and then roll it back down. Now this time, lift all the way up through the spine, so then we can press our shoulders into the ground and we have a nice long spine. I'll show you. So we lift through the hips, through the spine and all the way up. So now our shoulders are really firmly pressed into the mat, into the floor, and then roll the opposite way down. So bring the upper back, the middle of the back, and then the lower back and the hips all the way down. Okay, this is called our bridge pose. So let's do that one more time. So let's roll ourselves up, hips towards the ceiling, shoulders pressed into the mat, and make sure our hands are pressed into the mat also, and our feet are pressed into the mat. This is a really good one for opening up the chest, and then unpeel ourselves and gently roll through the spine all the way back down. Good. That was our bridge pose. Now, for this pose, we're going to tuck our feet in and curl into a little ball. Curl, curl, curl. Oh, it's like a big hug. And then all the way down again. Let's do that one more time. So we curl, curl, curl the body into a little ball. Good. Well done. So now I think it's time for our relaxation. Great guys, you've done so well. Now we come to the final part of our class, which is called Shavasana. And this is the part of class when we lie down and just let the body relax, because we've worked really hard in our class today, moving our body in all different shapes. So now we get the chance to lie down and relax. So if you have a blanket, this is a really good time. If you want to get cozied up, that's good. If you want to have a pillow, it's really nice sometimes to have the pillow under your knees when you lie down. It can feel really lovely. So if you lie on your back, come to the back nice and easy. We can just ease our way down and then we find a nice comfortable position. Now, if you don't like lying on your back or it feels a little bit uncomfortable, that's okay. You could curl up on your side. Just go to whatever is comfortable for you. So again, if you want the blanket, you can wrap it all up now. Maybe there's a pillow under your head or under your arms. You choose. You can pause the video and get all your bits and pieces if you want. But let's lie down. Good. So now that we're lying down, give yourself a little shake just to get really comfortable. And I will talk us through a relaxation. So let's go back to our breath. So take a big breath in. And this time let me hear it as you breathe out. Let's do 2 more of those. So a breath in. And let me hear it. 1 more. And as loud as you can make it. Good. Now let your breath be nice and easy. Just breathe naturally. And every time you breathe out, imagine that the mat gets even softer, or the floor. Feel that you begin to sink into the floor. So let's do that with our breath. So breathe in, breathe out, and sink a little bit deeper into the floor. Maybe you imagine it's a really soft surface like sand, or maybe it's a cloud, or even candy floss. You can picture whatever you want, as long as it's really soft and comfortable. So imagine your head has a lovely, soft, pillowy cloud or sand or candy floss to rest on. You can let your body feel really heavy. And whatever picture you've imagined, hold on to that picture and just listen to the music and let yourself sink a little bit deeper into your soft surface every time you breathe out. Good. Now let's bring ourselves a little bit more awake. Let's use the breath. So breathe in and let me hear it. Maybe we begin to wiggle our toes and our fingers. And we can begin to stretch our arms up towards the ceiling or stretch them right back overhead. Then we could begin to tuck our knees in, back into that hug. And while we're hugged in, we could rock side to side. Now roll onto your side. And push into your hand and make our way back up to sitting. Doesn't matter if you want to be in a different sitting position than me. It doesn't have to be cross-legged. Just find a comfortable place. Lovely. I need to wake myself up now. So let's do like a big yawn. So, and yawn in a different direction. A big stretch. Big breath in and big breath out. Good. Now, I always like to finish my yoga sessions with a little exercise that is good for our heart, because we said yoga was also good for the heart. So let's breathe our hands up, breathe up and down. We'll do that one more time. Breathe in, join the hands, breathe out, but this time place our hands on our heart. Now, part of yoga is being kind. Kind to ourselves, kind to others, kind to the environment, the animals, everything. But today we're going to be very kind to ourselves. So I would like you to think of one great thing about yourself, or maybe one thing that makes you really happy. as long as it's a really positive thing for you. So think that lovely thought, hold your hands on your heart. Now imagine that you send that thought into your heart. And as we breathe in, breathe out and lock that thought in your heart. Hold it in there. Good. Now think about it. Think about why you're so great, what it is makes you happy, and enjoy that feeling. Good. And I would like you to keep that nice thought with you for the rest of the evening, or maybe even the rest of the week. So well done everybody for trying yoga with me today, and I will see you next week. Bye!